Beast, everyone.
We're back. You missed us, didn't you? They missed us. I could tell.
They definitely missed us.
Definitely missed us.
For sure.
As you can see, we are on location, I believe real journalists call it, which we are. You know we are. Because we have credentials and stuff that we can get into stuff now. So, that being said, we can call ourselves journalists, Paul Aspen.
Cheers, journalism.
We're journalists doing journalism things.
You're journalisming today.
I think. Would that, if it were plural though, is it journali?
Journali.
Like I don't.
We're
like,
journalizing.
Journalizing? Mises? I don't know. Mooses? Mises? Whatever the plural is of that is what we're doing today.
So welcome.
You know what? Write into us because we don't know what the plural of journaling. Journaling? No.
No, journaling is where you're
Journalisting. We're going to be here a while.
Journalisming.
We're going to journal about this and get back to you.
all over the place today.
Don't ever say that again. Journalism all over the place. Jizzle drizzle over here. That's such a great episode.
I would like to say hello to our parents.
Yeah. Hi, Mom. This is on your TV right now.
And the rest of the 5 people that listen. Nicole King.
See, you're like
take credit.
Angled. Should I be angled? I don't like being angled. I'd rather look at you.
No,
you can do whatever you want. I'd just rather look at you. Because I get nervous when I think people are watching, even though we have like 2 people that actually watch. Sorry, I had a good burp time just there.
That's great. Love it.
How you doing?
Good. Yeah.
Good.
A little sketched out about the weather, but
you'll be fine.
Should be all right.
If I can drive from Billings to Big Sky in a blizzard in a 1993 rear-wheel drive Lexus, you're going to be fine.
I hope so. Yeah, so I started driving the Rabbit again, as you know.
Yeah.
And had some rear end issues, which I think I wanted to hopefully address. And we'll see. It felt kind of sketchy driving over here. A little nervous about it, but we should be okay.
Sorry. I hate it when your rod's too big. It gets in the way. I did not.
Speaking of rods, will you hand me that cutter?
Speaking of rods, I'd like to thank both of you for being here. It's a V cut, so.
I'm going to cut the V. I don't remember how these work.
That's the 3rd sexual euphemism we've used in 5 minutes.
I didn't even think about it.
Oh no, we're off to a great start here in the Culture Beast location studio. But we are at the Timberline Lounge in Bozeman. The Tin Can. It's literally the coolest Airstream I've ever seen in my life. And we have a bay window. Do you have a bay window in your mobile lounge that you go to? No, they don't. They don't. Do you want to know why? Because it's not this lounge.
It's not this lounge.
Located in Four Corners in Bozeman, it provides scenic views, good cigars, and if you're lucky, people that will give you a hard time.
And good times.
And no, it is all in good fun.
It is.
You know, I mean, so many good things have happened here for me.
Last night was so fun.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It was just fun to be here and hang out. And the range and realm of topics that you talk about in a cigar lounge are varied. And you meet great people. Like you met Pat.
Yeah. Pat
By the way, if you guys aren't aware of it, Pat got a new Glock.
I heard that.
Yeah, he's very happy with it. He's very happy with his Glock. I'm pretty sure the Glock is going to have its own Instagram page, like a dog does.
Glocky.
I think we were going. If it's a girl, it's Glocketta. I wasn't.
Glock Punzel.
Yeah. No, that's terrible. You know what?
Little red glocking hood.
When you get married and start having children, do me a favor, let her pick.
little red glocking hood.
That's terrible. Snow Glock and the 7 H and K's.
I'm gonna make sure that it's.
Oh, that was a good gun joke, and none of my gun friends are here to see it.
Sketched out. This is gonna stop recording.
Well, we need a new resident tech guy.
We really do.
Yeah. We need a resident tech guy.
Yeah. I think that's part of the reason why I'm so nervous this morning is like I want things to work.
Yeah, and they are working. Yes. Here's the thing: the heat's working. That's about it. That's all that really has to work.
Coffee's working.
Coffee
How do you
is
feel about this?
I'm not. It's nice and warm and brown. So Paul made coffee in my coffee pot this morning, and true to form, and I thought about this. That this guy, I mean, those of you who know him, he's this coffee aficionado, and he like points at the beans and can tell you what they're thinking and like what their astrology sign is and all this stuff, and like how many times their shell has been broken.
Hey.
Anyway, that was terrible. That was almost as bad as Glaucetta. And I have a drip coffee pot because I'm not insane. And he didn't know how to use it.
I did. I was like, is this on?
Yeah.
I'm just pressing
He's over there pressing buttons like he knows what he's doing. He pressed all the buttons that are wrong for what we were doing. But yeah, it was just really interesting because you see people, and this brings up you know how I am about metaphors and finding something where nothing is there.
Yes.
That's my favorite. Pulling something out there like that's a really stretch, but we can stretch because we've done yoga. So I've forgotten what I was talking about.
I have no idea where you're going with that.
Yep.
Okay.
We're back. We're back. Thank you for the message from our following sponsor, Nicole King Realty. See, that 10-second commercial.
40,
that's what you
41
get. That'll
Realty
be
Group.
well, yeah. 41 Realty Group. Nicole King.
Shouts to her. Not sponsored.
That'll be $25.
Oh, jeez.
So I only say that because she listens.
Yeah.
Love you. But it's amazing to me how you see somebody who's a savant in what they do, and they're so great at what they, and they're the highest level in the knowledge and the workings of what they do. Mm-hmm. And yet you give them what's like the basic of what they do, and they're like, I don't remember how to do this. So like same with like I'll be making these cocktails with 12 ingredients, and you're reverse dry shaking and getting the egg white to foam, and then you're adding charcoal and bitter drips on the top and making all this stuff, and then you add the wine float and all this stuff, and then somebody's like, I'll take a gin and tonic, and you're like, huh? Gin and tonic. 2 ingredients. Got it. Okay. Ratio of that. Is it good? Was it? It's like I just somebody like literally. I make these incredibly complex cocktails, and then somebody the other day came in the bar and asked for a Cosmo, and I was like, how? I had to look it up.
Yeah.
I can't tell you the last time I made a Cosmo.
Yeah.
Nothing against Cosmos.
Have we had a Cosmo?
No, thank God.
Are they bad?
I love how I was like, nothing against them. Thank God we haven't had one. You know what's amazing to me?
But screw them.
Yeah, yeah. Nothing against you guys.
But they're the worst.
Oh, my mom watches. Son of a. You gotta work on that finger. It just flips up sometimes.
It's got a mind of its own.
Yeah.
If you will.
It's like, no, man, I can't say that on the air.
No,
see, I'm learning.
Stop.
I'm learning.
Golly. Speaking of cool things, you got your dad's guitar back. That's been talked about for several. So.
I did, and it's absolute. I should have brought it.
You should have brought it.
Put it right there.
That would have been awesome.
This shout out to Wes Urbaniak. I couldn't have dreamt better than what he did. Mm-hmm. The intentionality and the craftsmanship of what he did, and hearing Pat play it last, I mean, it's stunning. Mm-hmm. And how he incorporated woods from my dad's past, and even a limb of a bow he loved that broke, and while adding new life. I mean, the thing has a soul.
Yeah.
And I've been learning from Wes on a number of things in the last year that we've worked closely together, and one of the big things I've learned is that there's so much emotion, and emotion is such a powerful energy that people can pour out and pour into objects to give them, and it's kind of a no-brainer for us car guys,
right?
Because I do believe, I agree with Clarkson, cars have a soul. Mm-hmm. And yeah,
it's gorgeous. It's been a gorgeous guitar.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and it's it's better than I ever could have imagined.
Yeah, because you were describing it to me when you first got it commissioned.
Yeah.
And then kind of the course of, it's like a while to make. which understandably.
Yeah, well, and
like
other people, they have lives,
craftsmanship.
and it takes. I mean, it's a lot of patience and steam,
Mm-hmm.
because you're bending things that don't want to be that shape,
Yeah.
and then retaining that shape.
Yeah, and I'm sure he had other orders in there, but like just
lots of them.
Just seeing, and I think sometimes things that aren't rushed can develop well,
Mhm.
So like different.
I'm gonna light this.
Yeah, go ahead. I think different things, like different characteristics or different ideas, can enter into that time that we're not thinking about rushing the process. Things can develop a little bit better. So it's cool
I
to
agree.
see the.
Well,
It's the
and I was
intentionality.
kind of annoying this last couple months, because I was just like, Wes, how you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Is the guitar ready yet? But I also, other side, flip it around. There we go.
This thing's hardy.
Yeah, it's the
I don't need
Zycar
to-
Tactical series.
I don't
So-
need to
no,
light
just
the foot.
no, because he's smoking a Southern Draw Rose of Sharon, and the Rose of Sharon has a closed foot, and I like the flavor of that wrapper tobacco.
It smells.
That long leaf, yeah. So I would personally say just light it, because then you get all that flavor. This is cigar of the year recently. I don't remember the exact.
Uh-oh.
You broke it, didn't you? You had one job.
It's out. Ow. Ow.
Watching Paul Aspen, the way his brain works when something doesn't work, of like how he's going to solve it, is very different from mine. So a lot of times I just like to observe him. But yeah, no, I agree with you, Paul. It's an amazing thing to watch. I don't know if you guys can hear me. Part of being at the lounge here is that we. Do you want to turn that? I forgot to turn the fans on.
Turn what?
This. So.
Oh, to open it.
Yeah. It's a nice view of my ass.
Work it. Work it.
Work it real good. One of the main reasons I love the lounge in an Airstream is that there's practical applications that are already there. Like this fan. This fan is literally just drawing all the air out into a vent that's already there. Those were already there.
It's so good.
And it's so smart. It's annoyingly
This thing's
smart.
delicious.
Yeah.
Wow. The paper feels. It's got
The
a different.
wrapper?
The wrapper.
It's not paper.
Sorry.
Not yet.
The wrapper just has a different textile to it that's just soft.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. I've never felt.
I would describe that cigar as delicate.
That's a good description. Yeah.
In flavor, in construction.
It feels nice.
And not
to
delicate like
hold.
it's going to fall apart. Like delicate like special.
It feels nice to hold.
Yeah. Rose of
Wow.
Sharon, baby.
That's beautiful. Thank
Yeah. Good. Glad you like it. Because it's expensive. I'm kidding. So, but yeah, so it was a great process to watch Wes and to experience him do this, and to be there. When my dad gets it, it's gonna be an experience. So.
Yeah, I'm excited to
I am
hear,
too.
and you can share, because it's cool. Like what one thing that I like about Culture Beast, and that I like about our friendship, is that it transcends a long amount of time. So I mean, I've had people that I've met in the last year that I don't talk to anymore.
Yeah, same.
But I've been able to walk through this process of seeing this guitar get built.
Yeah.
From your dad, whom I love.
Yeah.
And so it's a blessing to be able to see the full thing.
Yeah,
and
come
I'm
full
really
circle.
excited to see.
It's the coolest thing I've ever done for him.
Yeah, it's
by
cool.
far.
It's probably one of the more intentional things I've seen you do with your life.
Yeah,
which is really cool.
It is. It's very intentional,
but I mean, it's cool because I mean, even just in like your heart to rekindle things with your parents, really work on that.
Yeah.
But also, like, you have a really big heart for giving, and you love to give.
I do.
And you give well, and this was
you.
something that you set your mind to, like, I'm going to spend a chunk of money on this.
It was not cheap, no.
Yeah. And
it was not.
But
it's a lot of things. Cheap ain't one of them.
But be very intentional in the midst of it, to how it's crafted, who makes it, you know.
Well, and Wes was the right guy, because he's an artiste first and foremost, and he has an artist's soul, and I knew that I could give him kind of my vision, and then he would give it its own identity, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Because I think it's so important, when artists make something and you commission something from an artist, whether that's a musical piece, a painting, a guitar, a cigar, whatever it is,
right?
Even a car builder, like we talked about car art before, how cars are art and can be, like RWB,
right?
Holy smokes, and that's built for a purpose. So it's if you wanted it copied, a cutter copy of what you want, you would just take a photocopy.
Right.
But giving it to an artist, you're allowing them to pour their artistic soul into it. And without it, people go, well, I didn't quite get exactly what I want, or this doesn't like. Yeah, but without it, you wouldn't get it. You'd get something that wasn't as special. And so it was a no-brainer to have Wes do it. No frickin' brainer.
Yeah, and that's one of the hard things about like social media and especially Pinterest. For I felt the the bleed in. I got smoke in my nose.
Amateur mistake.
Of like shooting weddings and the bride's like, here's like 30 photos that I want to recreate. Like,
ma'am, I mean I like them. I don't know where you're gonna get a cow. But we'll make it work. You ever ridden a cow before?
Yeah, seriously.
That's some of the stuff I've, when I made suits. Some of the things that I got, I was like,
yeah, and even like,
can you do camo? You have not thought this through.
Yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah, and even to the degree like you see the picture of like all the bridesmaids like praying for the bride, and like people that like don't even believe in the Lord, like want to create those photos, and I'm just like this. I felt so weird taking photos.
Yeah,
like
it's become it. Well, it's just like social media in general. It's
a big facade.
It's a big facade, and I try to be as real as I can.
And you're doing a great job.
I'm just as crazy as I look on social media.
Dude, one thing that like I wanted to bring up to you yesterday, but now that we're talking about it, like sitting here last night, like just watching you kind of in your element and like. Just communicate with people, just like really realizing that like you've really in the last couple years like come into like who you are, as a person.
30 was the best year of my life.
Yeah.
Because I it's not that I discovered who I was, I came to terms with who that person was.
Solidified some things.
Yeah, solidified some things and go, yeah, that is me. No, that isn't me. I'm going to work on that.
Yeah.
But it really is I'm me.
Yeah. It's so sick.
In true Hugh Hunley fashion, if you don't like it, that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
And so it's great. And 30 was the best year of my life. It was the one of the harder years of my life, change-wise. But also, I culled the herd, as it were. I don't talk to probably 80% of the people I used to.
Yeah.
And if I meet somebody and we start, chatting and being friends and stuff, and they don't jam, I'm done. I know I don't go, so I'm just like, hey,
Yeah.
I
don't invest into it.
Yeah, I'm not going to invest into it.
Yeah, I've been a big proponent about keeping my circle small for a long time. And people thought I was crazy when I was like, I'm super excited to be 30.
Yeah.
Like I was so excited.
It's the best year of my life.
Yeah.
And most of my circle now is here because there's a lot of members who are businessmen and good people. One of my favorite people is Matt Ryan. He's a realtor here in Bozeman. He is recovering addict.
Yeah.
Like he's not addict. He was alcohol more. But just to become a really good friend and just a really solid human. Pat, really solid human. Heck of a bodybuilder. Heck of a nice guy. Got a new Glock.
Yeah.
But also, 90% of the people here are believers as well.
Yeah.
I met a guy who builds tiny homes for a living and guns on the side.
That's awesome.
I met a guy who manages land trusts for ranches. I met a guy who literally LARPs, dresses up medievally and fights.
God bless him.
And shoots arrows and stuff, and they love it. And that's what I've been harping on Culture Beast for years and harping on people for years. These things are the great equalizer. It does not matter how nerdy, how fancy, how whatever your income, it does not matter. This is and it's the only thing I've found, and I've looked, it's the only thing I've found that is the great equalizer. Alcohol isn't. Food isn't.
Right.
Cars aren't. Jobs aren't. Hobbies that I found aren't. You know, because if you don't go to yoga with Lululemon, why do you go into yoga at all?
Right.
That's a personal story. I'm sorry, I was traumatized. But these are the great equalizer. Speaking of these little tasty bastards, what are you smoking?
What am I smoking? It was
Southern Draw, Rose of Sharon.
Yeah, and it's just absolutely beautiful.
That's awesome.
I love the, for me as a graphic designer, like the branding's super cool.
Yeah, you can't ever give him an aesthetically unpleasing wrapper. Even if the cigar is great, take the wrapper off and hand it to him. Because he might not tell you, but he will judge you.
So I had to resort to buying the O Organics from Albertsons the other day. And I hate.
Yeah, I know they hate the O.
I literally took a Sharpie and Sharpied out the logo so I don't have to look at it.
Have you noticed the last couple times I've made brunch for you? I've bought O Organics.
I noticed.
And I never buy O Organics otherwise.
Really?
Ever.
Just buy it for me?
Just buy it for you. Because I know it's just near and dear to your heart. And it's my version of painting drizzle drizzle on the side of your boat. Because you won't realize it at first, but then it'll hit you sometime that day, and you'll be like, "That son of a bitch."
No, literally because you bought minced garlic.
Yeah, see, he can tell me the exact thing that I bought, because then I leave it in the fridge.
Every time I use it, I'm like, this damn logo.
Revenge.
Well played.
Thank you. Sometimes Hugh Hunley can play the long game. Just saying.
Turns out he can. Brilliant.
And contrary to popular belief, I can be subtle.
It's very subtle.
Yeah, and it's very contrary to popular belief.
I didn't realize that was part of the long play, but well done.
Yeah,
well done.
thank you.
One thing
I'm proud of it.
Yeah, I'm suddenly proud of it too, in a backhanded sort of way.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to bring up, like last night, like I was, and as you were talking today, I was thinking before you talked about like the great equalizer, I was like kind of reminded of the verse where it just says, "Come as you are," and that's really what this place is about, and what I've experienced from. And this is my third time here.
I think so. Yeah, third
maybe
time.
Second.
No, third time, because we recorded. You came once when you were passing through, and then.
Oh yeah, so this is my third time here.
Third time.
But every conversation I've had at this lounge, it's just people that just come as they are.
Yeah.
And they just here's my stuff. You know, and everyone's like, sweet.
Yeah.
What else is going on in your life?
Yeah, we become like a little family. We really have, like, with Kristen, TJ, the owner's girlfriend's heart condition. Like.
It's a family affair now.
It is.
It's personal. And
we all have. That's the second thing we ask when we come in.
Yeah.
And she's a member. She comes and smokes with us. We've all gotten to know her, and she's the most amazing human. But it's a family affair, and that's why. People always tell me you need to open a cocktail lounge. People always tell me you need to open like a really fancy 20s restaurant. That kind of swing style. You need to open a cabaret club. The reason I'm holding out to open a cigar lounge is because of that right there. And a lot of people that aren't in one don't understand it. But that's why I'm holding out. Yeah. I've had investors come to me about cocktail lounges in Big Sky and in Grand Rapids and places I've lived in, fucking Sacramento.
Right.
But I'm holding out because they don't have that.
Right.
That family aspect.
Right.
That Big Rob and Keith taught me at Grand River Cigar. And Cigar Bob and Father Aaron and, Sarge and Fireball and, all these people, these regulars that I became, family with.
Yeah.
And would do anything for you, And real quick story, and then I want to get to some topics we have.
This is good. I love
good.
This.
I'm glad you like it. I'm doing
talking like this is good.
Oh,
this
yeah.
Is good. But this is good
but the Rocky Patel Vintage 1990 is probably one of my favorite blends by Rocky. And I've started to get a smaller ring gauge in the box press
Mm-hmm.
because it smokes a little better. One of my favorite smoking cigars is a Petit Lancero. It's like that big around.
Yeah, I remember having a few of those. Yeah,
I love a Petit Lancero. And this is kind of that happy medium of a little bit more meat on the bones, but still a Petit Lancero. Anyway, when I was in Michigan, when my pops and I went back in October, we stayed in Michigan a few days with Uncle Pooh, my uncle in Michigan. And I actually reached out to Big Rob and his wife Tina, the former owner of the lounge. And we sat down and had a cigar and a glass of wine on their deck in front of their chimney in October. You know, it was real. I always call the weather in autumn in that area moody. Because it's very moody.
I could see that.
Yeah, it's really moody.
Yeah.
And it was just amazing. They had seen how far I've came and that I'm more of a man of integrity and my word now. And
Sure.
And it was just really... And we've kept that conversation open since. And... watching Big Rob with his customers is the reason I wanted to open a lounge.
Yeah.
I should have told him that. I never did. But that's why I want to open one of these, long story short, is because of that feeling that you saw.
Yeah, and I have the same heart
and you start,
coffee shop.
Yeah, but I think it's cool because now in my kind of realm, you're starting to see it. Why I have such a draw for this. Not just so I have a place to smoke and drink. Yeah. I could buy a $800 shed from Home Depot, retrofit it, insulate it. I'd be into it $1,200 and have a smoking lounge in my yard.
Right.
That's not the point.
Right. Yeah, the point is community.
I'm still gonna do that.
And I've always said that, you know, coffee is important, but people are more important.
Yeah.
You know,
well, coffee is a community too, with these third waves and these single origins.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
There we go.
Nice job. Yeah, and that's, you know, my last employer was good, but it quickly lost the aspect of building community, you know, and just wanted to make money. And that's nothing that, like, I want to know what's going on in people's lives, you know. I want to know, like, how you're doing, you know.
Yeah. It's so important.
It's so important.
It's so important. And I think a big thing about it is the intentionality.
That's exactly it.
And what you're striving for. I'm striving to create the community, not to make money. If you strive for something else other than money and do it well, money will come. That's not every single successful person says that. You know, if you strive for money, you know, there's a great example in your past of people who just strove for money, and people in my past.
Yes.
Those people don't exist today.
And if they do, they're just very, very shallow people.
Yeah, you know? or they're just clinging on to the identity through their business that they have.
Yes.
By a thread.
Yes.
And so it's cool for you to finally kind of see why I'm so obsessed with this culture.
Yeah, and it's cool because I when I visited you at the lounge in Michigan, I'd never been to a cigar lounge before that. And so kind of seeing, like, you walked me through everybody's lockers, and some guy walked in, I don't remember his name, and we had a cigar with him. And then, like, entering into this place and meeting TJ and seeing that kind of bleed in the intentionality of creating culture has bled into here. And it just, it's remarkable, you know. It's just something.
There's a method to my madness.
Yeah.
Which nobody saw coming. I didn't see coming. But yeah, thank you for saying that, because it really is a special place to me. And when I first met TJ, he had just opened up. And meeting the guy and talking to him, I was like, I told him, I was like, I'm going to bring you a bunch of members. And I did.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that to, like, toot my own horn, but, like, I've brought in probably more members than anybody else. But I've also been very specific.
Yeah. And it's not from, like, a look at me, look at me people.
No,
you're
I want to share this.
Yeah,
and
I care about you. I care about your soul. And
I want him to be successful.
Yeah, and I want the people to be influenced by this culture.
And I'm not saying it's just me, but because of other members, too, thinking that way, we want TJ to succeed in becoming a family unit. You know, and a lot of veterans in here, like you heard me tell him this morning, I got your six. Yeah. Something we say, you know. And it's not like I, you know, support it's not political at all. It's just something we say to say, I got you, bro. And because it's a military term that it's a camaraderie thing.
Right.
But because of all of the members like us who are like, yeah, we're bringing people in, people like-minded that we think will have, and not like-minded, you know, a whole melting pot, he's almost at capacity for memberships. Yeah. Which is a plateau, which now we're starting to go, okay, how can we keep going?
Yeah, I asked him last night when you went to go get the guitar. I'm like, okay, so where do you stop? You know, like, what's the point? So he's at 40 now. He'd like to get to 50 to see how 60 feels.
Yeah, and like, you know, he used to, everybody could bring a guest, and now he's kind of going lower on that, because if everybody, you know, all the tiers of membership get to bring a guest, guests aren't going to have a seat.
Right. And there's just
members. I'm sorry.
And it makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, but yeah, this place is important. But I'm glad you see it, like, in its entirety.
Yeah,
now,
I really
the full
see it.
picture.
And it made a lot of sense last night. You know,
Yeah.
it made a whole lot
Well,
of sense.
sometimes we can know something or be in something for a long time, and 1 second of one instance will just solidify it for us.
Yeah.
And we're suddenly we can see the big picture.
Mhm.
It's, for some reason, even if we're in it for a long time, there's just 1 second of one moment that slams that last puzzle piece in, and you're like, oh my gosh, I can see it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly.
And that's, you had I call it an apostrophe moment.
Because or
or epiphany, whatever it is.
One of those.
I just had an apostrophe.
I was sitting at
Lightning just struck my brain.
Doctor, I just had an apostrophe.
Yeah, can I have some pills for that and a wipey?
But yeah, sitting like listening to you and Pat and TJ talk about movies, you know, completely different backgrounds, but still like having a really great conversation about movies.
Mm-hmm.
And
we talk about movies a lot.
And I'm not a huge movie person, but it makes me like want to watch different movies, you know.
Yeah, and our I mean, we TJ, a member named Tim who builds tiny homes, and I sat here, and being both veterans, they broke down how a sniper does calculations in his head.
Jeez.
With the wind, shooting, you know, a quarter of a mile, half a mile, in less than 3 seconds.
Jeez. That's crazy.
And I learned all about, you know, that it loses velocity, and, you know, you have this wind and all that stuff. And like, that's what we were talking about last night. You know, one of the guys that you might meet in June is one of the guys that was in the Captain Phillips, you know, pirate Somali thing. And he shot terrorists on a moving boat. His boat was moving.
Jeez.
Like, and he got him, you know. And like, so we have, our conversations are never just tailored to one thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really awesome.
I've learned more things sitting in this lounge listening to other people.
Yeah, I learned a lot last night.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cool.
Yeah. Cool, man. I'm really glad you see it.
Yeah.
Because it is special.
Yeah.
And it's not something that's on the surface.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the cool thing, too. It's not something that just anybody, you know, anybody can get.
Yeah, and one thing I really appreciate about like your character is that you have a strong ability to bring people together, you know, from different walks of life, you know, which is why
I'm a connector.
You're a connector.
And that's in my 30s. I learned that about myself.
Good at it, you know.
I am.
And so for me, that would
complimented myself. I'm getting better at that too.
Good job.
Yeah, I'm good at it. I'm a connector.
Yeah, and it's something to own and be like, yeah, I'm awesome at this.
Yeah, I know a guy. That's my tagline now for me.
Yeah,
I know a guy.
Yeah, and like had I not met you, I wouldn't have gotten into cigars, wouldn't have met TJ, wouldn't have been in these spaces, you know. So it's just cool.
And if I hadn't met you, I'd be dead. Talked about that last night.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a wonderful place, and the setting. I mean, the snow is falling. There's a creek right here.
Yeah, I'm looking out this window, and there's like a creek with snow falling on it, and it's just.
And we're
beautiful.
Warm, and we can smoke in here.
Yes.
And you know, when there's not snow, the mountains or the bridges are just a light right there. You know, we're in this beautiful meadow with a nice fence, and it's just really a nice place.
Yeah, I want to see this place.
We're sitting at this cool booth with a tomahawk inlaid in the table.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever need it.
This whole space is just so intentional.
Mm-hmm. And I know you love that.
Oh my gosh, I just want to live here.
I know. It's an Airstream. That's technically possible.
Yeah, it's technically possible.
But yeah, so I have a few things to discuss. Do you?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Not that I want to break this up, but there's at least one that I really, really want to talk about.
I have several things that I really want to talk about. We might jump all over the place with this one.
That's okay, because you know that's culture.
Mm-hmm.
So ProDrive.
Yes.
You saw that I sent you. ProDrive is a British company. They build like race cars for a lot of the British teams.
Right.
And they basically just take British cars and do what they need to do to make them, you know, DTM or rally or, you know, Dakar or whatever. They built a car for the off-road Bahrain Raid Extreme competition.
The what?
Bahrain Raid Extreme. So it's basically like a big race.
Okay.
And I'm in love, and I don't like, you know me, I don't like a lot of like. I'm much more into road cars than I am race cars because all the scaffolding and the extra wires and the weirdness and the cutout body parts.
Yeah.
Some of them look great.
Right.
Other ones, but I love this. It's called the Hunter. It uses the same engine, drivetrain, and suspension as the rally car or off-road car, but it comes more power, more suspension travel, and a livable interior. They call it
livable interior.
Yes,
that's important.
I
don't think I saw it.
Well, scroll through these pictures. I'm obsessed with it. I don't have a lot of specs on it right now.
Holy cow!
But I'm in love, and I think it's based off an F-Pace. The SUV.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jag SUV. The F-Pace.
Wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I love that. And please tell me it's gas.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's so sick.
It's the same engine, so.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
It's perfect.
It's perfect. Go get groceries.
Yeah, you could technically
take the
it'd
long
be the
way.
loudest grocery getter, but it's just mean looking.
I love that.
And it's gorgeous.
And it doesn't look like there's too much like intrusions with the roll cage or any of like the race accessories. Like I said, it looks like it's livable.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. And I think one of the other things that I love about it is that it is probably the first track inspired, whether that's off-road or on-road, car that I have really been like.
Mm-hmm.
Now you and your Toyota truck.
I love anything truck. I'm pretty much about, except for like the squatted Carolina Ghost trailers.
Yeah, but no, you like that kind of pre-runner look.
Yes,
you love pre-runners.
Love it.
But see, I've never been like, I love that. I love pre-runners.
Yeah.
This is the first track-based car that I'm like, yeah. I would own that.
Yeah. And it, like I think you get a lot of influence like here in Bozeman, seeing a lot of like trucks that are lifted and built, and you were driving a truck for a while, you know, like it seeps into you. It
does. And the cool part is that they make so much sense out here. Like that would make sense out here.
Right.
Kinda. I could make it make sense out here. I could we could fake it. It'd be great.
Yeah.
What do you got?
I got some other kind of cultural things happening.
I just wanted to lead with that because I was really excited about it.
It's a good, strong lead.
Yeah, thanks.
Baseball starts back up on the 7th.
It does.
Which I'm super excited about. Became a big baseball fan recently.
Yeah.
So I need to figure out how to watch more games.
ESPN.
Yeah, but I don't want to.
I have it. I'll give you the login.
Okay.
You'll be fine.
Thank you.
We'll get through it together. Marriage is what brings us together today.
I think baseball's on.
Name that movie, and I will send you a picture of me smiling with clothes on.
That's rare.
Solid gift. Yeah, well, yeah. Smiling? Yep.
No, with clothes on.
Oh, that also. I'd much rather be naked, really. Do you know the difference between naked and naked? So my mother is from Northern Virginia. She says naked. I say naked. My father from Southern Virginia says naked. Do you know what naked means? The difference of the two?
No.
Naked, and this is straight from my father's mouth, the Southerner. Naked is somebody without no clothes on. Naked is somebody without no clothes on who's up to something. And so that's plugging dad over here.
That's beautiful. I'll have to remember that.
Anyway.
So I think baseball's coming back in a big strong way. Because I mean, like last year, like,
it'd be really fun for Culture Beast to do.
Go to Mustangs game.
I was thinking more like Dodgers or like Yankees, but
I was thinking accessible.
Rockies, Denver Rockies.
Yeah, Rockies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mustangs are awesome. Like that.
I've never been, so we'll go. Let's go because I love baseball.
It's a beaual, beautiful venue.
Let's do it.
It's nice.
Let's do it.
Like I walk.
I know
in there
next to nothing about the players and the teams, and I like I was a big Derek Jeter fan, so I'm kind of partial to the Yankees, but like I just enjoy going to a baseball game.
Yeah, I walk into that facility and I'm like, what? Like, it's just so nice. It's cheap. You can sit right behind the home base for $8.
Done. Let's do that.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
Great beer, great hot dogs.
That's all I need. Hot dogs are my jam at a baseball game.
Fun.
Beer and hot dog, done.
Dude, we'll take the bug.
Oh.
Yes. Maybe the dune buggy will be running by then.
You never know.
So we can take both the dune buggy and the bug. That'd be so fun.
Roll out.
Yes.
That's what we have to do.
Yes.
We have to.
It would be so fun.
That would be fun. Or by then, it could be the Mini and the Bug.
Even better.
I talked to him the other day and just kind of set up a plan of how I'm going to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. That's exciting.
So it's happening.
Yes.
It needs to happen. It's too good of a.
It needs to happen.
It's too good of a car to pass up. It's too good of a price to pass up. It's too good of a plan to pass up.
Yeah.
And I'm only gonna do minimal. Like I want to add some rally lights.
Right.
And a wooden steering wheel.
Dude, that makes me so happy to hear.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be so good.
Like today, even this is the day I would just bring it out to the back roads and just slide it around, rally the fuck out of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So anyway, that's baseball's coming back.
Yes.
You heard it here first. Extra.
Yes.
Read all about it.
What other cultural things? I got a lot. A few.
Oh, I want to talk about the bike industry is forever changed if it catches on.
Wait, what?
The bicycle.
Oh, bicycle
industry.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
So a Stuttgart-based designer, Stefan Henrik, has created an all-wheel beach and city cruiser.
All wheel?
Yeah.
Like
one wheel.
What?
It's one wheel. It's one wheel. It's a bicycle. Bi means two, but it's one wheel. Actually,
it's all wheels, but
one wheel. No, like it's all-wheel drive.
That's all wheel.
Yeah. It's I've never seen anything like it. But it literally. So this is what I also like about it because it's actually very engineeringly savvy. It's a monotire clip chain system which automatically forms a temporary rim in the wheel section, as well as a dented belt drive in the interior groove. The monotire is powered via the central wheel as the crank generates the force required to churn the wheels. It's basically like a differential system.
Weird.
On a bike. Are you ready for this?
No. Oh yeah, you sent that to me.
Yeah.
That thing's
I've been
so
reading
wild.
up on it. It's wild because it works. Go ahead and scroll. It works.
Huh. I mean, it's a render.
Yeah. But the engineering checks out.
Yeah. That's so.
The engineering checks out.
It's like given the description and not seeing it.
Yeah, I always love doing that.
I would think it'd be like remember those magazines you get on the airplane that would have like the shot
like the Sky Mall.
Sky Mall, yeah.
Delta Sky Mall.
That's what I would think is something from Sky
Yes.
Mall. That's so cool. Are they actually going to build it?
I hope so. I just want to see how it works.
Yeah, I do too. I want to ride it.
Yeah, this is the so
you want to get flat tires because it's like one belt.
Yeah, and it's a belt. It's not air. It's a belt.
I wonder how you would change it.
Carefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just wicked. I love it.
I want one.
Yeah, and it's got independent suspension, the front and the rear.
It's so cool.
So you could like off-road that.
Yeah.
Can you imagine mountain biking on that thing?
You just ride around anywhere.
It's like because it's technically, if we're gonna go this route, it's a track system.
Yeah.
On a loop, so essentially, it's a little bit of a stretch, but I think we're onto something. It's a tank.
Yeah, and if that technology could
work,
it's
a tank.
Why couldn't you put it into a car?
And why couldn't you put a turret on it?
Yeah.
It's a tank. Why couldn't you put it on a car? Well, Richard Hammond in the Pirate episode of Grand Tour showed us exactly why that's a bad idea.
That's true.
Yeah, because how many times did he replace? I think he put the original wheels on at the end of it.
Yeah, he did. He was like, this is awful.
I can't do it.
It was a good idea at the start. Then,
yeah. Well, and I love how he put on this thing that is not known to work very well, and then was always surprised when one of the tracks broke. Like, he was always so surprised. You know. Shout out to the MFB for that.
Mm-hmm.
That was a great Bentley.
Such a good episode.
Yeah, it was a great Bentley.
Yeah.
And I love how, we're going to go into the backwoods of Madagascar. I'm going to get a Caterham. A car with no roof and no windows and no doors. But
So
it made
good.
it.
Are
I
they?
don't know how that thing made
I
it.
have no idea either. It just proved the beefiness of that thing.
Yeah. Well, James May is an unsung genius, I think.
He really is.
Yeah, he's something. Anyway,
So funny.
so that I wanted to talk about that bike
Yeah.
because that's wicked.
Mm-hmm. Oh, some snow just fell. Segue into
Ooh.
something similar.
Yeah. Which is
That's a
Paul's
bad
way of
segue.
saying no.
I want to talk about Haggerty. I've been.
I know.
Oh my gosh. Like,
You've been just, I mean,
because I feel like.
thank God you can't take Haggerty out to dinner. You'd be married already.
Yes, absolutely.
I almost said something else, but we have viewers.
I think my renown for Haggerty is because it was just kind of like all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Like, because previously, you know, it was Grand Tour or I guess it was Top Gear and then Grand Tour that were kind of leading the cinematic.
Well, they were, but then they stopped doing reviews and it became more about the fun and the trips more than the cars.
Yeah, but they set this precedence of automotive journalism.
Well, and that's the thing. They were all three journalists. They just happened to be funny.
Yeah, but like with the cinematography and how they explain things and the way it was filmed was just phenomenal.
It was the standard. Yep.
And now I'm seeing Haggerty put together these videos and these documentaries that just blow my mind. Like, you haven't watched the Countach one yet, have you?
No, I haven't.
It blew my mind how good that documentary was. It was just like it thread through like 5 or 6 different narratives perfectly. It was perfect because they wanted it to. They started talking about the Countach from the race across America, Cannonball Run, yeah. But then they went back and explained the why the Countach was made.
That was a
and
Super Veloce in Cannonball Run.
What?
The Countach Super Veloce.
Yeah, but they explained like how that car got into the movie.
Oh wow!
But also explaining why the Countach was ever made and why it was better than the cars and why it wouldn't actually run in the Cannonball Run. It would never actually run in the Cannonball Run. So they explained like all
because
these
it would break.
It wouldn't have enough fuel capacity. It wouldn't have like all these different aspects that why it actually wouldn't work.
Wow, that's cool.
Yes. And so they all of a sudden they're talking about like the Countach, but then they're talking about the history of the Countach, and then they're talking about like the Cannonball Run, the specifics behind the Cannonball Run. It's so good. It's like an hour and a half.
I have to watch it.
It's phenomenal. It's
I have
phenomenal.
to watch it.
Yeah, and the guy who owns it now, you know what he's done to it, and like the history of that car.
That's cool.
It's just unbelievable.
Well, I've always said one of my favorite Grand Tour things that they carried over from Top Gear is the historical stuff they do, like on Jim Clark and the Fiat Audi, Fiat or Lancia Audi feud in the rally, stuff like that. And I love because that's what they originally wanted to do.
Right.
So yeah, I'll look it up. And Haggerty is not a entertainment company that tries to do a car show.
Right.
They're car people that do a car show.
Right.
And that's something to be said of that.
And now they have the Kaiser that does renders, and then they have Magnus Walker that talks about new classics.
The next thing, which I love. I do follow that.
Which I have a piece on to talk about later. And then
let's talk about it now. It's a good segue.
Well, I want to finish with.
Well, no, I'm saying let's talk about it next. I should say.
Yeah. And then Jason, whatever his name is, he has his whole show where he goes. What?
Good talk.
Thank you. Yes.
Jason, whatever his name is.
I posted on the Facebook page, the one that he just recently did. But he just goes through. He talked about the Lucid Air. But thread through like why Tesla and other cars, are kind of influencing this, but why Lucid is completely different.
Yeah, Lucid is completely. They're nuts.
Some of like the way that he's narrating it, but then like the narration goes into the car where he's continuing that conversation in the car from the narration, Oh, wow. And at one point like they're driving in the Lucid Air. And all of a sudden, there's 2 people in the back, and Jason starts fumbling around the front seat as he's driving on this track, and he like passes the drivetrain from the Lucid Air into the back seat to demonstrate how small and how nimble that car, that the engineering mastermind that car is.
That's weird.
Yes, but it's a moment in the video where like, wow, like this really gives a perspective of how light and how advanced this car is. He just passes the drivetrain to the people in the back seat, and they're hanging on the drivetrain.
I don't think that's safe.
No, but it's awesome. I need water. Do you want water?
No, I'm good. Well, while you're getting water,
do you want to segue into the next big thing?
Yeah, let's segue to the next big thing. So one of my favorite things about the next big thing, or the big thing, is a lot of Magnus Walker's a very entertaining person to listen to. He's got that Sheffield brogue, you know.
Yeah.
And he's a very charismatic son of a bitch.
He is. He's very his own person.
He is, and I love that about him. But there's a lot of good information, and they're very intentional, like trying to tell people, hey, this is going to go up in value. Like and I've always said this, I want to have a car collection.
Yes.
To as an investment. And he is basically giving us, hey, this is based on research and what we know, this is the next big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Get one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so far I've actually looked at, you know, the cars in the episodes and then looked at the current market, and they've been hit for hit. Mm-hmm. I mean, they've been, yeah.
My prediction for the next big thing, as I've been noticing, is the sixth generation Toyota Celica, the 93 to 99.
Yeah,
it's gonna be the next collector car.
Really?
Mm-hmm. The one of the two.
Yeah,
lights.
no, I'm familiar with it.
Because I've been watching on social media and kind of around like just watching what people are doing, and a lot of people are starting to swoop them up and build them.
I think they're atrocious.
I used to think so, and now I really want one. Yeah. Like Ryan Turk, he, you know, Formula Drift driver. He just got one imported from Japan. That's the all-wheel drive turbo, like monster Celica. And then I started thinking, like, if he's bringing one in, you know, and like Larry Chen just featured one on.
I saw that.
Yeah. There's something to it that I think is going to be one of the next collector cars. But
here's the thing, you're probably right, but it's atrocious to look at. Car guys, we've talked about this on the podcast before. Car guys have this way of turning around and looking at their cars several times before they go into wherever they parked. I couldn't do it.
I couldn't do it until recently. I don't know what switched. I don't know what changed.
I've used this James May word several times on the podcast. It's gawping. It's gawping. It's heinous.
At some point, you'll have a light switch moment where you're like,
no, probably not.
Maybe
Probably
not. But I never think I would.
Here's the thing. You've done that to me in the past where you've set me up, but I'm pretty confident in myself now that I don't think so. No. I
never thought I would.
I like the older Celicas. That Celica and the one after it with the weird boxy back end and stuff. I just hate them. Mm-hmm. I hate them.
I like the swoopy one. That's the one I'm talking about. Is like the swoopy one.
Yeah, I understand which one you're talking about. Do you think they're going to bring it back?
Yeah. I think they would.
Stupid not to bring it back.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, I think at some point the GT86 will go away and the Celica will replace it.
I hope so. Well, nostalgia's the tool of the trade right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
For marketing especially. No, I think it's gawping. I would never own one. I don't care if it's the next big thing. There's other things that are next big things.
I think they're going to go up in value, and
I think Haggerty's right. I'm not saying Haggerty's not right. I'm just saying personally, I would never.
This is my own.
I know, and I'm telling you, you're wrong. I understand that it's your own personal beliefs and it's your own personal opinion, and I'm telling you that is wrong.
We'll see. Time will tell.
I don't know if I can. I don't know. Like, let's say we do another zip tie, and you pull up in that. I don't know if I could not make fun of you.
Fair.
Which is not what zip tie's about. It's about uplifting.
There's some cool ones out there.
No.
Yeah.
Nope.
I'm gonna do the organics on you. Do the long play.
Yeah. Like when I opened my fridge this morning to get creamer for coffee, and there's a nutcracker in my fridge.
I don't know how that got there.
Paul put in there, and I already forgot about, and I was like, Jesus.
We've all forgotten about it.
Yeah, I know.
It's so funny.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, no, I've no doubt that it's probably the next big thing. I just think they're absolutely heinous. Here's a Culture Beast question.
Go ahead.
You know how I am about my Culture Beast questions.
Yes.
If you could import any JDM pre-1995, pre-2000, I'll give you that.
Okay.
Pre-2000, you could import any JDM car, and JDM's your baby. It's your bread and butter.
Yes.
It's what you're about. What car would it be? You could choose one.
That's a big question.
I know what mine is, and it will surprise you.
My first thought is one of the diesel Hiluxes. Because, man, those are just...
Yeah, but that's not really like the JDM. That is a great answer.
It's Japanese.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I'm talking like sports car.
Sports car.
Yeah. Or like, car.
Sure.
Because that would be my first choice,
Yes.
too. That or like a Land Rover Prado, something like that would be my first choice. But I'm talking...
I think right now where I think it's going, the Celica.
I knew you were going to say that. I'm so upset with you.
Dude, Turks is awesome. It's awesome. He's just beating on that thing. And it's
it's a Toyota.
Cool.
It's a red top or a black top.
Yeah,
the
it's
engine.
all-wheel drive, turbo, just monster little car.
That's fair.
So cool.
I'm very happy for him.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's yours?
What do you think mine is?
Nothing Nissan.
No.
Nothing Toyota.
What do you think?
Subaru STI.
No, I'd love an R22, but
a
22B, yeah.
Yeah, everyone would.
I wouldn't mind an I wouldn't mind an R22 either. It's a RX-7 FD.
Ah,
yeah,
okay.
Because
Uh-huh.
you can get, with that rotary twin turbo, you can get 1,200 horsepower to those things. And they're gorgeous.
And they sound phenomenal.
And they have pop-up headlights.
Yes.
And
that's a strong answer.
They come in bright yellow.
Yeah.
Why anybody bought that car not in bright yellow is beyond me. That car was made for bright yellow.
Yeah. I'm not a huge yellow fan, but that's a good yellow on that car. Mm-hmm. It's a really good yellow on that car.
But I love how our first answers were, Toyota Hilux and a Prado. So speaking of old cars that we would bring in, European car, sports car, pre-90s, what would you bring in?
Pre-90s or pre-1000s?
Pre-1000s, sorry, because you're allowed to bring those in now.
I would want a BMW 3 Series wagon, like the 325 wagon.
Like you had.
No, like the
older one.
The older one. The E90, E36.
Yeah, E36. Yeah.
Because they're hard to find in the States. You get the M spec. What was that? I think you get the Alpine spec.
Or Alpina, yeah.
Alpina spec from Europe in those times, which we didn't get here.
No.
Which would just be a monster and just sound good, green.
Because old European sports cars are my preview more than you. I mean, you're definitely there as well.
Yes.
But so it's a good question.
I kind
of figured it was either going to be a 3 Series or 5 Series wagon. I just had a feeling.
Your feelings were correct. You know me too well, damn it.
If I could bring any European car in, and I'm not going to say my first choice is the obvious choice, which is a Alfa Giulia GTA.
Yeah.
The 2-door, more track focused. The single light instead of the 2, because it's I would bring one of those in.
Yeah.
They're amazing. But that's an easy answer for me. I would bring in the original Alpine A110.
Ooh, strong choice. What color?
Blue.
Ooh.
Yeah, definitely blue. And the reason for the blue is because of it looks so good in that muted blue.
It does. Yeah.
I'd want the Hellas up front, just like, rally spec. But yeah, I love those cars so much because they don't make sense.
Yeah.
And that's the French. They build cars, they don't make sense.
Nope.
That's what I love about the French. And they touched on this in the last Grand Tour special. The French build cars how they want to build cars. They don't really give a flying shit what anybody else is doing.
Yeah, it's true.
And
whether
I love
it works,
that.
whether it doesn't.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
Doesn't always work. Well, I know how you are about the C2.
Mm-hmm.
Citroen C2.
Oh my gosh.
Or C2V.
Mm-hmm.
CV2.
I like most anything
whatever it's called.
that Citroen did back in the day.
Yeah,
like,
they had some nuts.
Yes.
But it was like it was a French Jeep. It would go anywhere.
Yeah.
So
strong. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
What other topics do you have?
I have one more thing I want to talk about.
Okay.
And that is the Bozeman. I want to touch on the Bozeman car culture that I've seen so far.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
There isn't an organized one.
Mm-mm.
And I think that needs to change.
There used to be.
There used to be.
Yeah. I don't know what happened. There used to be a meet every week.
We've seen this amazing change in car cultures in the next generation coming up, where the older generation doesn't want to be a part of it, or they don't want to be a part of the older generation. I don't know.
Yeah.
But there's this huge division. And I think it's unnecessary.
Yeah.
And that's my point I wanted to segue into, is that the car community, I've seen a lot of our generation people who grew up in the car community not want to be a part of it anymore because of how it is and how toxic it is and how, everybody just goes and pays for their builds and it's not about building.
Sure.
But if we distance ourselves, and here's where my point, if we distance ourselves from the car culture because we don't like where the culture's going, we are just as complicit. Because if we can't show them through how we build and walk them through their own cars and help them build stuff, they're going to continue to get it from a shop.
Yeah.
They're going to continue to, and not feel like, I think we have a lot to offer them, and I think we can learn a lot from them.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
it's interesting. It's interesting you bring that up because I've met people that have came here. Someone last year came here from LA. He drove the Lexus LS 400. All built on air or whatever. And he was like, hey, is there any shops that work on, build cars here? I was like, no, we actually just kind of build our own stuff, and he didn't understand.
Well, because in living in California for a little bit, like I did, it is the car, it's the car culture out there is, because there's a shop for everything. Yeah. There's old Alpha shops, there's old MG shops, there's old Subaru shops, there's old Porsche shops.
Yeah.
But not a lot of people do their own work.
Right. Which I thought was really interesting.
The amount of cars and the amount of different builds are there. But it is a different culture.
Yeah. Which makes me kind of appreciate having that bit of uniqueness to our culture here in Montana, if you can call it.
Well, we have to build our own.
Yeah, because we just don't have
and we have to figure it out.
And I don't have the money to pay somebody to do my stuff.
Well, and it raises an interesting question. I've been thinking about that a lot lately because I would really like to do a car meet this year. Do a Culture Beast meet.
That'd be fun.
And not the scale of Zip Tie, not the vendors and stuff, not yet.
Right.
But I would like to do a Culture Beast meet.
That's a great idea.
In Billings and in Bozeman.
Yeah.
And get it out there early, get people coming,
I'd like that.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at.
That's a good idea. We should definitely plan for something. You heard it here first, folks.
And then do a live episode from the event.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah. And just pull people. Hey, tell us about your build.
Yes.
Or walk through. Yeah. Make it a Culture Beast day.
Yeah. Yes.
Get a small stage and set our green chairs up and set a lot of podcasts car podcasts do it from meets and from shows and stuff.
It'd be fun. I've had this idea kind of looming in the back of my mind of doing a gentleman's night of sorts. Like,
I love how you had this idea, not me.
yeah, and you know, where we dress well, where we, you know, drink good alcohol.
Not good enough for you?
I mean, everybody.
I'm wearing a pocket square.
Not
God
just,
dang it!
Not just you, but like everybody, because you have a renown for dressing better than everybody else.
And I'm the suit guy and the cigar guy at the meets. That was my moniker for a long time.
Yeah, and but just have everybody, like, there's a dress code. You know, there's you know, there's like
we've been talking about that. We talked about that a couple of years ago.
You did something like that when you were living at Lauren's house.
I did.
Yeah, and that kind of stuck in the back of my head. You know, it'd be fun to do something like that again.
It would.
You know?
It would.
Like, not like specifically car based, but
no, a gentleman's night.
Yeah,
I think it'd be fun. There's a group out of Salt Lake called the Kind Sirs, and that's exactly what they do. So we should do that. They'd probably partner with us.
Yeah, that'd be so fun. Yeah. So I got nice clothes in my house. Not nice clothes, but outfits that I can put together to, you know, look nice. Where? In my closet.
That's where it's been for a while.
It has been. It doesn't come out very often, but it's fun when it does, you know?
It's giving you a hard time aside. I don't wear suits every day anymore.
Yeah.
And there was a bit of an identity crisis when I started doing that. But I implement pieces of a suit in my style still every day.
Yeah.
And that's I've kind of found my own style, and that's what style is. Fashion, I always tell people this: fashion are the rules that we're given. Style is what we do with it.
Ooh.
Okay, I've said that because I've found myself in a position to mentor a lot of younger men, kind of in their 20s, coming up.
Yeah.
And in fashion, and you know, like one kid really wanted to be a bartender, and I met him at Urban Kitchen, and I said, hey, get this book and read it. And now he's a bartender at the Montage.
So
and he walked into the Standard. The owner was there. It was a packed house, and he went, Hugh, oh my God. Literally went up to the owner and was like, this is the only reason I have a purpose, and like just started going off.
That's so sick.
And so, you know, his name's Michael, and it just took a 10-minute conversation of, hey, you want to do this? Like, here's the first, and now he texts me all the time.
That's so
you know, and but fashion is the rules we're given, rules of the day, because they change.
Right.
Style is what we choose to do with them, and that's why fashion.
That's so good.
Fashion is universal. Style is unique.
Dang, dude, that's so good. That's so good.
And that's what the Italians do a whole fashion week on it. It's called Pitu Amo. And I mentioned it before here, and it is street style. It's what they wear, and it's a whole fashion week.
Yeah.
They descend on Milan, and I'm going in the next couple of years. I'm going.
That'd be amazing.
One of my mentors, Gianni Fontana, he goes every year, and I'd love to just.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
I mean, and there's people, there's designers that. And the outfits are just unreal. Hashtag P2Amo on Instagram. Look it up, and it's really wicked.
So good. That'd be fun. If I could, I'd like to join you with that.
We will. We have credentials. We can get in as press.
That's true. It's so fun.
But like what I'm wearing now, like this is more considered street style because I've combined some things, you know. And
it's a brilliant outfit.
Thank you.
I love it.
And that's what I love to do. You know, is now just kind of mix and match and come up with fun stuff.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, like yesterday, I wore a white button-up, black jeans, and my Nikes.
Yeah.
And
you look great.
Thank you.
And that's what I'm saying. Like it's more defined street style. It's cool.
Yeah. And I've been like thinking like how can I combine more button-ups, more, you know, that
Southern Gents does a good job of portraying.
They really
like they
do.
You know, with those nice shoes, the slacks, the vest, the button-up, and an ascot and a fedora, and he was wearing a Letterman jacket.
Yeah. Or he'll wear a camo jacket.
Or denim.
It's just it's brilliant. It's brilliant what they do.
So yeah, that's good culture piece talk right there.
Great culture piece talk.
Yeah. So do you have any more topics?
I wanted to bring up rally real quick.
Yeah, let's end on that.
The first race of the season kicked off this year.
This year.
First
race of the season kicked off this year, huh?
Yes.
Wow,
year.
what a concept!
What a concept!
I'm just blown away. We got some. You can probably see them in the background. We got some people looking at the venue for a wedding because this is a wedding venue. So,
but so it kicked off this weekend. Just finished up today. Do you know what Ken Block is driving this year?
No. I leave it to you to tell me this sort of thing.
He's driving a 2009 WRC prepped Hyundai i20.
What?
Yeah.
That's weird.
It is weird.
Oh, I have something to say after this too. I forgot to tell you. It's a very good culture piece conversation.
Cool. But I thought it was cool.
Wow.
You know, because like last year his contract ended with Ford, and so now he's just like driving.
He can drive whatever he wants,
and so it's really fun. I mean, it's not legal in the States, but it's legal under certain regulations. You know, he has to drive from stage to stage. Yeah. But I thought that was a really cool move on his behalf. Yeah. You know?
And he's got the name where he can kind of do it by himself if he wants.
Yeah. And
do it for himself.
Until this morning, he was leading by 45 seconds.
Wow.
Hit a deer on the very last stage with 3 miles left.
Holy smokes.
Yes, and knocked him into second.
That's got to be annoying.
Yes.
And humbling.
Yeah. I don't know. Were you going to talk about Subaru? Okay.
I'm going to talk about Hyundai.
Ooh, okay. Let me talk about Subaru real quick.
Let's do it.
Because Subaru, they just announced that they are they're stopping.
I do want to talk about Subaru, and I just got upset.
Okay.
So we are going to talk about Subaru. Yes, I need. You were baiting me. Yeah. Do you want to say this, or do you want me to say
about
it?
STI?
Yeah.
Yes. Go ahead. You're on it.
An electric STI is the biggest load of bullshit I have ever heard in my life. You want to not sell cars?
Get 'em.
Make one of their primo, literally the only proper sports car you have that you've turned into a proper sports saloon because it's as big as my old frickin' Jag. You're going to make that electric. Why? Because the world says gas is $7. Yeah, gas is $7 because I can't get political. Gas is $7 because we have morons on all sides who don't realize that there's other ways to do things. Anyway, that's the stupidest move in the whole world.
I couldn't say it better myself. Thank you.
Stupid.
So
Subaru, take that beat, you know. Subaru is...
Give us a moment to calm down.
Yeah. Subaru, I don't know who's been making their decisions lately, but in the last 10 years, they've really gone from one of the great companies that builds proper cars to... there's a lot of people that disagree. They think electric cars are the future. But when the man himself, Mr. Elon Musk, comes out and says, "Yeah, we don't have the infrastructure," and that's one thing. But when there's certain pedigrees you don't fuck with, and the STI, they started going, well, you know, it could be a family car.
Right. No. It was a 4-door car that
if you're gonna make a sports saloon, give me a 2-door version.
Right.
Everybody else is doing it. If they can make a 3-door and 5-door Bronco and a 3-door and 5-door Wrangler, you can give me a 2-door Subaru.
Exactly.
Schmucks.
Totally agree. Yeah, it's just, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, I've been frustrated with Subaru for a long time, and their new WRX is just atrocious. I hate the new WRX.
It's heinous.
Yes.
It's putrid.
Like, I just don't understand. At this point, I just want it to go away. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to deal with it. Like, I don't want to see it.
Or if you're gonna go that route, give us a gas, more tuned version. You know, they have the WRX. Do the STIs and electric, and give us an RS.
Yeah.
Or a 22B.
Right.
Some sort of other designation that is more, like, do both.
At this point, I don't think I trust them to do a good job with the 22B revision. I don't think they would. They put like the freaking black like flare liner things on it, like they did the WRX. And
we're gonna make it more rally. No, you made it cheaper. Is what you did. You put black plastic scaffold or things around everything.
It looks
terrible.
Stupid. Absolutely terrible. But it brings me to wondering like what Subaru is going to do for the American Rally Series next year.
Maybe they're not.
Maybe they're going to do electric.
I don't know if I could go to an electric. You know, you go there for the sound and then
yeah, it's just
stupid.
Yeah, it's not good. I don't like it at all.
Mm-mm. I mean, at that point, to even, you know, be a proper car, you just have to put, you know, cards in your spokes to get the noise.
Pump audio through.
No, seriously. At that point, you deserve cards in your spokes.
They'll have speakers set up on stages.
You're a little huffy with your card.
Yeah. A little speaker set up on the stages.
Yeah, like directional surround sound. Rum.
Yeah.
That was actually a 1938 Packard, but we used it because we forgot to get the real audio. Hyundai.
Yes.
Just filmed. Are you ready for this?
Uh-oh.
This is the ridiculousness of rich people. I fucking love it. Hyundai brought in a team to put Christmas lights and wreaths all over downtown Big Sky Town Center, and they filmed their next year's Christmas commercials.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yep. Now the coolest car there was the boom car.
The boom car? Oh,
yeah,
with the camera?
Yeah, it was a Porsche Cayenne Turbo. And it was the same one. There was an article some years back about this boom car. They used a Porsche so they could keep up with faster cars.
Right.
And it's wicked looking.
Yeah, I've seen them.
And there's 4 guys in there. There's 2 guys in the front, and then there's 2 guys in the back with a bubble. They're reverse seats, and they're doing the camera.
Doing the turret.
Yeah, and then the guy in the passenger seat is looking at what the camera. And the smoothness of this driver was unreal. The other car of note that was there was I got to see their entire lineup, including the truck.
Oh, really?
It's disgusting.
You don't like the truck?
It's
Santa Fe?
I've seen
Santa
it in
Cruz?
person. It's disgusting.
I think I like it.
They're all disgusting.
I like the new Santa Fe.
I am so disappointed. However, that new Iconic Q or whatever that new electric car they're doing, the fully electric one, the little hatch. You haven't seen it?
I don't think so.
Bro, I've seen it in person. Start building cars that look like that, Hyundai.
Is that the one that the star from Ozark's James Doe, he had a commercial doing?
Hang on. Maybe, I don't know.
Who's the guy who stars in Ozark?
Jason Bateman.
Jason Bateman. Yeah.
But I've never seen it, so I don't know what commercial you speak of. Usually I do. So it's Iconic. IONIQ.
Yeah, I think that's the one that he did a commercial for.
Yeah, the Iconic 5 is the name of this car, and
yes,
look at those wheels.
So cool.
It's so good. And that was the saving grace of look at the wheels.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like that was the saving grace of, and it looks just like that. It looks just
cool.
like that.
That's amazing.
And you know the one but it's here's the thing, it's a 5-door and it's very spacious on the inside. It's about the size of your Rabbit, maybe a little bigger.
Yeah.
But it's for an entry-level electric car.
Mm-hmm.
I that's the one I would buy.
Yeah.
It's pretty. But like it has a presence. But other than that, I mean, I was seeing them in person.
Yeah.
And they literally had a team bring in Christmas decorations, decorated the entire main drag.
That's so wild.
Shut down the road.
In Big Sky.
And filmed this.
Crazy. It's cool you had to experience that. That's amazing.
Yeah, and I got to drink with it too because I was working, It was unreal.
I'm curious about that hatchback now.
Because
in the commercial, you couldn't really see. I didn't notice that really strong body line through it.
Oh, it's really pretty.
It's weird, but it's cool.
Yeah, I will say the Santa Cruz, I was very disappointed.
The truck thing.
Yeah,
I like the truck thing.
It reminds me of the Subaru Brat.
Yeah,
and
I don't know how functional it is.
It's not. So, Mr. TJ, we were just talking about Mr. TJ Montgomery. This is the owner of the lounge, which you've seen from a previous podcast from the summer. TJ is yeah. Live well, stay free. No, you should come sit.
You should come sit?
Yeah, come sit like last time. We can end with you.
What cigars do you guys have going?
I've got a Rocky Patel 1990. The smaller box press, which I was actually explaining the reason I got these smaller ones is because the best smoking cigars I've smoked have usually been Petite Lanceros, but I like a little bit more meat than that, and this is kind of a happy medium. And I introduced our good friend Mr. Paul Aspen to a Rose of Sharon.
It's beautiful,
and he's obsessed.
So good.
He's obsessed.
Well, Southern Raw makes delicious cigars. Maybe this way.
Yeah, I think you should light up and join us for our final little signing off.
I will do that.
Yeah. Mr. Montgomery is stylish as always, and Kuyu on the bottom, Kuyu on the top, and if he probably has his way, Kuyu underneath. So, good heavens. What could go wrong with an old fashioned? Good heavens. Yes, and we have been shooting full circle here, shooting with our the Lounge's Fitfo can. Made by Mr. Brian Hemmings. They're a fully industrial ammo box that's been completely custom designed for cigars. You pick the colors, you pick everything. They're really cool. They start like $350.
Dude, that's sweet.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah. Oh, it's well, it was showed to you, but yeah, Fitfo cans. Figure it the f out. You know. I've said fuck 3 times in the podcast, but yeah. But thanks for joining us, man. You've got a Southern draw as well.
No,
Jacob's Ladder or what? Or that's Hiram's song.
Rose of Sharon. I just decided that I needed a
Yeah.
draw myself.
Yeah.
The thing that I've been enjoying about this cigar is not only does it taste really good, but I noted it like when we first started that it just feels good. Like it feels nice to hold, you know?
Yeah.
It's soft.
It's
got, like, it's just I haven't experienced a cigar like this yet.
Yeah, the construction on the Southern Draw cigars are really, really good.
That might be one of my new favorites.
That's a bold statement, Paul
Yeah.
Aspen.
It might take the place of.
Let me ask you: do you like it better than the Sweet Jane?
I do.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't. I think if the Sweet Jane taste could be in this wrapper, wrapper,
You're right.
yes,
It's not paper.
I think that would be. I like how this feels to hold.
Yeah,
It feels nice.
it does.
I didn't think about like the experience of holding the cigar until now.
Cigars, and I've said this before on the podcast and in my life a lot. Cigars are a whole experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I've made the joke, you know, some people pay $150 an hour for therapy. I just light one of these, but it's so true because it's an experience.
I
It's
just
not.
talked to you.
Yeah,
Over
well,
one of these.
yeah. I mean, that's a compliment. I think, maybe.
Yes.
But yeah, so thank you again for letting us use your beautiful space, and we plugged you a lot at the beginning. So our contractual obligation is fulfilled. So I'm not saying anything nice about you. But yeah, and so again, thank you for letting us use this.
Yeah, I appreciate
And
it.
definitely, if you're ever in Bozeman, reach out to TJ on Instagram or you know, on the lounge page, and
Get a membership.
and definitely come and just check it out.
Consider
You know,
getting a
earlier in the
membership.
day during the week is usually best for if you want to check it out, just because in the evenings and on the weekends the members are here in force. You know, that's why we're shooting at about 9 or 10 today, just because it's a little easier for the lounge, but also I like breaking it up because, you know, we record at night. You know, we have a good cocktail or a good bourbon or a good whatever, and then but we also showcase coffee here because that's, you know, again,
Yep.
Same deal, different spectrum,
Right.
or same spectrum, different sides. That's what I meant to say. So yeah, and so now we're having coffee, but yeah, so it's a really great space
Mm-hmm.
to come and. I wish you could have been here at the beginning to hear the conversation we had about the lounge and how just wonderful the culture that you've created and just what you've built here is pretty fantastic. And the fact that you know, opened just last year and now, you know, in the middle of last year and now you're almost at capacity is a testament to, you know, yes, obviously it's a heated place to smoke where you're not hassled, but I love a good cigar lounge. If the person that I meet who, you know, the person that I meet who's running the lounge or who's helping me is not good, I won't go back. Doesn't matter if it's the only game in town. As I said, I could just go grab a shed and into it for $1,200 from Home Depot, insulate it and smoke in there. I could, but I won't because of this place. And that's something about that, you know.
Well, I really appreciate that. You know, the value that's here is really brought in by all the members. Each member brings their own personality, brings their own value.
He hit on the biblical verse, "Come as you are."
Yeah, and the members do.
We do, and he was saying that, yeah.
So it's great to see that. It's great to see guys enjoy the lounge. It's great to see guys use the lounge and build relationships and network.
Yeah.
So.
Well, again, thank you, and thank you for coming all this way.
Yeah.
And spending time.
I totally forgot we were recording for a while.
Yeah, and I love that.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, and we probably weren't, knowing the technology that we're using right now.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, thank you to TJ. Thank you to all of our people listening and watching. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, and do if you could just subscribe, you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
And tell your friends, because it's, you know, and the more people we get, you know, the more people we get to of different walks of life to start. Like we can expand like what we know.
Yep.
It's an interactive thing, and I want to get more intentional about that. So, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you, TJ. Dramatic appearance as always. And this is Culture Beast.